Hi, YouTubies. Hey, I received a comment on my Lovelock Cave Giant Smithsonian Strikes Again video that directed me to another researcher's video. And I guess it's this gentleman named M.K. Davis. I don't know this person personally, but I went and I looked at the video and they were discussing some of the skulls that were at a museum near this Lovelock Cave and a 40-year-old photo of the skull. And the person who did the video was saying that they were admitting that these skulls were there, and it shows clearly a giant skull on the left side. I took a screenshot of this video, and it doesn't, it shows most of the skull, but half of it's off to the side. But it's comparing it to the other skull, a normal looking skull. And when they went back to find out if those skulls were still there, they said they repatriated the most interesting ones, but some of them that were clearly Paiute, they left. But even those, I think they probably don't even have anymore. I did make a phone call before I went out to Lovelock Cave to the museum in Humboldt City, and I talked to them, and they told me they didn't have anything, and that if they did, they would lose their funding, because they have to go along with the repatriation rules. So I just want you to keep that in mind. This is all about money and politics. But what I found most interesting is that even though these snakes have been hiding the truth, that photo gives a very interesting piece of information. And those of you who've been following my work know that I went out to the Mutter Museum in Pennsylvania, which is associated with the medical college out there, and I did a study on acromegaly and gigantism. And one of the things that I learned was that acromegaly usually makes the head large and slope back, and there's various symptoms with it. Many times it goes along with gigantism, not always. There could be those that have acromegaly and not gigantism, but um, looking at this skull, you could see that the teeth are spread out. And that is one of the symptoms of acromegaly. So the symptoms of this acromegaly, which is usually an excessive growth hormone disorder, and it's sometimes caused by benign tumors, but not always. But the symptoms are thick lips, enlarged nose, particularly a wider nose bridge, protruding jaw, protruding brow, and spaced out teeth. As the jaw grows, gaps may form between the teeth. And the problem with sometimes if this is a pituitary issue, they get headaches and vision changes and certain nerve issues, joint pains, and other issues. But I've also shown that there are some genetics for gigantism, and it's like a normal condition. I've shown that in some of my other work. So I just want to point this out. I hope the person doesn't mind that I took a screenshot of their video. I am giving credit to them. This is not my photo, but I am going to post this to their video, that there is proof that this skull has symptoms of acromegaly by looking at the teeth, which are spread out. And you look at the skull next to it, and the teeth are not spread out. So not only is it giant, the sockets are larger, the nose is larger, but the teeth are spread out, which is a symptom of acromegaly. So yeah, there's definitely a cover-up going on here. Thank you. And I want to add some last-minute information. One of these sites that I was studying was called FIPApatients.org. F-I-P as in Paul, A, patients.org. And that's where I got this photo from. Now, I went back today, and look at that. The site is now secure. So I don't know if you have to have some special way to get into it or not. I went back into the Wayback Machine, and just to prove that this was a site at one point. This is getting rather silly because now I'm really starting to see a lot of information that I've been using and putting together to prove my point is disappearing from the internet. And I've had my websites hacked a couple of times. I've had to redo them or undo the damage that was done. I can't believe the ridiculousness that is happening. I mean, whether this is a coincidence or not, I'm starting to think not. I just I don't get what the heck is going on here. This is just insane. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out that now one of the major sites that I was using, looking at a very good study for gigantism is unavailable. So that's rather interesting, isn't it? Okay, thank you.